Man, you got to go in here again expecting, Hollywood world or movie world because they don't, everybody's beautiful in movie world. They don't look anything like they do in real life. I mean, he ain't ugly, but I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
They got my man looking like a model right here.
Right.
He looks like my cousin right here.
I'm surprised they didn't put that chin on her. That's a pretty prominent feature.
Well,
They put something on her. They put a bunch of prosthetics on her face.
Yeah, they do.
But there's just. She's just too gorgeous. There's only so much you can do. That's so funny to me that, well, it wasn't always played by her. Oh, who'd you get before that? Catherine Zeta-Jones. Like, God damn it. Y'all ain't even trying.
Yeah, no, that is true, man. And that's again, a thing that I can't really even say is wrong with this movie because they do this with everything. Again, they don't want you they want you to watch. They want you to look at, they want you to be attracted to the people, even if they weren't that attractive in real life. They don't want you to be too repulsed by them, because they want you to keep watching. They don't want to chase viewers away. So, that's you can see what they're doing. They soften things up, make things very pretty here. Join me for a night of sit-down comedy over at the Broadway Comedy Club March 15th. That's in New York, of course. There's a new #1 show on Netflix. And people are talking about this because of one particular thing that they're saying. If for nothing else, you should see this show for that. But before we get to that point, we're going to go ahead and just talk about what this show is about. So this show is about the cocaine godmother out there. Some call her the queen of cocaine. Griselda Blanco, and that is her last name for real.
Yeah.
It's almost like a comic book character.
Right.
Born into that. She was destined to sell that sweet powder.
It's really her middle name.
Is it her middle name?
Blanco, yeah.
Oh, it's her last name now. She's the last name in cocaine. Yeah. Oh, she was destined to sell that coca out there with a name like that. And she controlled the cocaine business in Miami for a long time, 1970s through the 2000s, man. And she seems to be gaining a lot more popularity since her death. She died in 2012. We'll talk about how she died later. Well, I'll just tell you right now, somebody blasted her ass.
It was always going to happen.
And somebody just waited. They waited for the right time because her thing, the way she used to love to kill people. She said I like to do it in style. So she just put people on motorcycles and gave machine guns and just went by and just blasted fools, man.
Yeah, drive-bys.
Yeah. And somebody said, well, you know what? I'm sure that's the way she liked to go out.
Right.
Go out in style.
Exactly.
Said she was hanging out. And funny, for a woman who loved to kill, she was hanging out at a butcher shop when they gunned her down. Yeah, that was in 2012, man. But since then, especially if you slinging cocaine, man, there's something about these Colombians and these Cubans and these Latinos, y'all got it, man. When y'all start doing that cocaine, y'all go down as heroes. And so now she's beginning to get a lot of fame with that infamy. And so you've been having a lot of documentaries and shows already about her out there. Catherine Zeta-Jones was on Lifetime. I didn't even know Lifetime did stories about people who did. I thought they were all like Christmas specials and romances. Well, I guess she was in love with that cane right there. So
okay.
Yeah, the cocaine godmother.
So Catherine Zeta-Jones played her?
Yeah, Catherine Zeta-Jones.
I didn't think she played a Latino since Zorro.
Yeah. The Griselda Blanco story.
Okay.
It's a Lifetime. Maybe it's actually kind of like a Disney thing, cocaine godmother, All
you gotta do is sniff it too.
About how, Tony Montana had a fairy godmother. I will bring you all the cane you want. Then they have, of course, Tubi. Tubi got something. The queen of cocaine right there.
Okay.
An original documentary. You got those two things right there. But I mean, come on, it's Lifetime at Tubi, Netflix said, let me show y'all how it really done.
Sure.
Now we got money.
Right. We've done Narcos. We know how this goes.
Yeah.
We have a template.
And this is from the producers, directors, and, creators of Narcos. They were thinking about doing this story about Griselda for Narcos, but they just felt like there wasn't room. So they said, don't worry about it. She'll get her time. And then I heard about this today, and it stars Sofia Vergara as Griselda Blanco. And Which, when I heard it, I thought it was about a wicked witch or something. So I didn't know. I was like, oh, she sure is pretty for a witch, man, But
especially the way that you texted it, it was like a combination of Hansel and Gretel or something combined. I was like, Griselda.
Oh yeah, I totally said it wrong.
You did, but I knew what you meant.
I think I said Gisela or something.
No, it wasn't even that. You had no S in there.
Yeah, it was Griselda.
Like Gray Elder.
She would have me murdered for that because she was so ruthless, man. And they figure, you know what? Like we were just talking about, they did Narcos so well. They figured that, you know what? This why wouldn't this be a hit? And Netflix they've had many hits. Doesn't mean they're all good. Narcos was quality TV. I never saw Narcos really. I saw some of it and didn't get into it anymore. But I did like it. But I said, you know what? People are talking about this right now for that particular thing that I'm talking about. Let me go ahead and check this out. Plus, it's only 6 episodes.
Sure.
It's a mini series that they have going on. How was it? And what is this thing I'm talking about? Let's go ahead and take a look at this Netflix mini series, and we'll be back with our review. I want y'all to hear me out. For anybody starts jumping on me for what I'm saying right here, just hear me out. First thing I will tell you about this for me, this series right here, this is the reason why documentaries exist. Because
you ain't never lied.
Because after the first episode, listen, before I looked up anything, after the first episode, I said, you bullshitting.
Yeah.
You were not telling me everything, all right? And I will tell you why I noticed this later. But I looked up a lot of this, as you would have a tendency to do after, a show or a movie that's a biopic or something about a famous figure or something based on history. Because we all know that they line immediately when they say based on a true story.
Yeah.
Inspired.
Now
they would have been better off saying inspired.
That's what it says, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they changed a lot. They took out a lot. I went and looked at some of this stuff, man. In this show here, so Griselda Blanco, she moves to Miami with 3 kids. She's escaping an abusive marriage. She uses her business savvy and her street savvy to start a cocaine. She also has some experience with her husband who's in the cocaine business. She used to be a prostitute. So, she knows a little bit how to get around. And she starts her cocaine empire from nothing. In fact, I got a clip right here where her first thing was, she said, listen, why aren't we selling this white to white people out there? They love to party. You know that.
Blancos. Nosotros tenemos el poder de devolverle la emoción a esas vidas aburridas.
Now, if you just listening, some people are like, what? So she's pretty much talking about selling cocaine to not just white people, but rich white people. I guess it wasn't really a market that was tapped into until she came out there and started making moves on that. And she was right because, boy, ain't nothing crazier than white people on cocaine. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but they have a scene in here with these white people. They turned on Colombians with guns so they could keep partying with that cocaine. They're like, yeah, get the out of here. No, Colombians are like, man, let's get out of here, man. They're crazy. These gringos are crazy. Did you see that part?
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, they threw a glass at us. Let's get out of here, boys.
They had guns. Yeah. Them white people crazy with them dishes. Yeah, man. Later, she succumbs to money, power trips, ego, drug-fueled paranoia. And it's the usual story. It all leads to her downfall. She also finds a husband with a bodyguard who almost reluctantly starts carrying out her murders because she just gets ruthless. She gets insane with it. Just to let you know what this show didn't do as far as what went on with her in real life. So they didn't really show how insane this woman is. Mm-hmm. And in the show, she's crazy. In the show, she's very cold-blooded. But in the show, the character, she didn't hesitate to kill to get what she wanted. If she wanted something, she saw a way to get there. She didn't mind killing anybody. Oh, she only went on a killing spree when she was paranoid. The real Griselda, she loved killing, man.
She was cold-blooded and ruthless ever since she was a teenager. She was arrested as a pickpocket, and then later orchestrated a kidnapping scheme that ended up with somebody being killed. And she killed all the time. Like this miniseries tries to show her as an underdog who was reluctant, and I was like, this ain't even close to the truth.
And you say teenager, she killed. Man, her first kill was at 11 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody did her wrong, and no adults would take up. She said, "But I'll take care of myself." Yeah. Blew some dude's head off. Another kid.
And the thing is this whole era, I only got to saw the first episode, but I've seen the documentary Cocaine Cowboys. Notoriously, like, you think you've seen extreme violence, like, this is beyond that. I mean, it's like what's it called, Scarface in real life, and it's not even exaggerated.
Yeah, man, listen, I can tell you why they toned it down, because they didn't want you to be repulsed by this character. That's the thing about it, because she loved killing and torture. She loved breaking bones, peeling skin. Damn. You know, they didn't tell you everything. Now, one thing is in the show, and I'm not gonna tell you what it is. I'm just gonna say that there was a botched hit, and an innocent got killed. And they make it seem like she's heard about it. No, in real life, she's like, I'm glad they got that son of a bitch.
Yeah. The whole time watching it and her going like, oh no. I'm like, stop.
You exactly right. I was,
Deep down, she's like, yes, I got a free one.
Yeah. And you can just tell what they're doing here, because once you read upon it, it's like, well, you know, we want them to feel something for this character, even though this character in real life is a horrendous human being.
Beyond redemption.
Yeah. She was a piece of shit, man. Another interesting thing that they left out is her relationship with Pablo Escobar, which is very interesting.
They left that out?
They left that out. She worked under Pablo Escobar, and they said she might have had a romantic relationship with him, but also that it might have soured because she had one of his guys killed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, somebody on his side pissed her off, and she had him killed without his permission. So he just and you know, he has a quote at the beginning of the show where he's like, I've never been scared of any man except for you know, a woman. Griselda Blanco. But I can understand kind of why they left it out, because they said we don't want to distract from her story, and there's a lot of stuff that they could have put in there they had to leave out. So, you know, did you need Pablo Escobar in there? No, because they didn't go into her background a lot. But it is an interesting thing. I'll tell you one thing they left out I thought they could have put in there. They left out that she had a black boyfriend at one time. I mean, look at her. She put cocaine on his mouth right now. Yeah. And somebody said,
he didn't have a choice.
Well, somebody in the chat said that dumb left her and she tried to have him killed. I don't know why. I don't know how he got away. See, now hey, shit, make a series about him. How did he get away from her? Escape from Blanco. They could have put that in the movie, but they didn't. See, that's interesting there. That's something they could have had in there. I wasn't surprised to see that there was so much missing, though, man, because I'll tell you this. If you're looking for those details, all right, don't go in here looking for the real story, all right? There's one of those shows where they do stuff for entertainment value. That's it. And for me, it was entertaining. I mean, the only thing I say is it goes on that Scarface formula, you know, where you got a guy who was, you know, he used his smarts to start a cocaine empire before he lost his mind.
You wanna play games? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
Okay, so I mean, I know that scene is just done to death now. Everybody's joked about it, but I really do, man. I love this movie, and I love this scene because this movie's insane.
It's insane, yeah.
This movie,
it's a cartoon.
You're right.
It's a great cartoon.
This movie's crazy, man. I mean, doesn't even
clouds of coke.
By the time, I mean, he's sitting in front of a mountain of coke at the end of it, using his grenade launcher to shoot people. You know, it's Al Pacino just crazy, being cast as Tony Montana.
It's in the stratosphere. I mean, I remember younger watching it and like, man, that's what a badass movie. Getting older watching, I was like, this is so ridiculous. I can't take this seriously at all.
I do think it's a badass movie. I love this movie, man. I'm sorry. I love this movie. This movie's a video game and a cartoon and everything else, man.
Yeah, it is. So
this show doesn't go as crazy, okay? It's still though kind of predictable when you get down to it. You know, it goes back to the old formula of gangster films. You know, this goes back to, you know, they've been doing this since the 30s where it got to a point in the studio system. You couldn't make a gangster film unless everybody got their comeuppance. Mm-hmm. Justice was served at the end. And that's what happens here, man. You know, all these people, you know, they're charismatic. You enjoy watching their rise, but then, you know, everyone pays at the end one way or another, you know, so it's that kind of movie, man. So it's, again, no big surprises there. But if you're looking at it just as, you know, and I use the word fun loosely because it is brutal, man. It is. But I mean, you know, it's well done where, I mean, the action scenes, you know, we're talking about violent action. We're not talking about, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger fun action. We're talking about, you know, innocent people being murdered. We're talking about people being gunned down in public. You know, we're talking about that kind of thing. We're talking about, you know, it's a crime story.
Just straight slaughtering people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as violent as you can imagine. Like, you can hear stories in like Cocaine Cowboy. Like they showed in the trailer, like them going in that liquor store with the Uzis. Mm-hmm. That's accurate to what it was like. Like they would walk in with a bunch of guns, hitting people with machetes, doing all this crazy stuff.
And didn't they have a name for that massacre? It was.
Oh, there's a couple of them, but there is one that is famously known. I forget what it's called.
And I think this is one of them right here. Yeah, they call it the Something Day Massacre. So yeah, it's violent, but I mean, if you're captivated by true crime stories, which is, you know, like I said, there's a lot of truth that's been taken out of this, it can be enjoyable to watch if you don't mind the brutality of it. Also, what's he going? Oh, I'm sorry. What are you gonna say?
No, go ahead.
Also, it's one of those shows where, and it's not even a complaint. I just think it's funny. I always enjoy looking at how they upgrade the actors. They upgrade the people with the actors. You know, it's where the actors are way more attractive than the actual people. You know, like right here, this is Sofia Vergara and a guy named Martin Rodriguez. He plays a guy that actually looked down on her and eventually, you know, became very loyal to her. He plays a guy named Ravi, I think. And here's what they look like in real life right there. So,
well, he's a pretty handsome guy.
He's a handsome guy, but I mean,
but Griselda, yeah, that was one of my things with it. I was like, okay, this is a vanity project for Sofia Vergara, and it's a chance to step out of her Modern Family role and you know, and actually act. So, and you know, hats off to her for this opportunity and her performance and all. But they have to go so far to ugly her up. Like they don't even make her look like Griselda. They just like, well, we put some prosthetics on her and some yellow teeth and a rubber beak on her nose,
some fake eyebrows on her and a wig.
Eyebrow. Yeah, they do all that, and she's not Sofia Vergara hot, but she's still attractive. And they also like play up her being attractive, her sexuality throughout the whole thing. And I was like, this is not really accurate, but okay, this is the story you're trying to tell.
That's that brother, Martin.
Man, that brother's captive. Like once she had her eyes on him, he had no choice.
Right now, he's like, help me.
And everybody's like, sorry, man. It's either you or me, and it can't be me.
Because he was supplying her with cocaine.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, so no, I hear you, man. That's the thing about it too, man. You got to go in here again expecting, you know, Hollywood world or movie world because they don't, you know, everybody's beautiful in movie world. You know, they don't look anything like they do in real life. I mean, he ain't ugly, but I mean, come on, man. You know, they got my man looking like a model right here.
Right.
He looks like my cousin right here.
I'm surprised they didn't put that chin on her. That's a pretty prominent feature.
Well,
they put something on her. They put a bunch of prosthetics on her face.
Yeah, they do.
But there's just. You know, she's just too gorgeous. There's only so much you can do. That's so funny to me that, like, well, it wasn't always played by her. Oh, who'd you get before that? Catherine Zeta-Jones. Like, God damn it. Y'all even trying.
Yeah. No, that is true, man. And that's again, a thing that I can't really even say is wrong with this movie because they do this with everything. Again, they don't want you they want you to watch. They want you to look at, you know, they want you to be attracted to the people, even if they weren't that attractive in real life. They don't want you to be too repulsed by them, you know, because they want you to keep watching. They don't want to chase viewers away. So, you know, that's you can see what they're doing. They soften things up, make things very pretty here. But, you know, I'll tell you this. I did enjoy this from this being the angle of a woman who, you know, she's taking no shit from the most powerful and the most feared guys in the business. Now, again, I'm watching this as a piece of fiction. I ain't watching this as I'm not watching this as a true life story, but you know, because half the shit she did in here, they kill her ass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she would not get, you know, I'm sure that they, you know, added, you know, they took some dramatic liberties with this, but creative liberties with this. But, you know, watching her as this character, you know, taking on these powerful men, you know, it drew me in. And I like that because it drew me in watching her get these, not only killing people to get to where she is, but winning the respect and loyalty of these guys that, like I said, who dismissed her earlier. Guys that just looked at her as nothing, called her all kind of bitches and laughed at her. And later on, they ended up working for her. Hell, she made a cult out of a whole bowl of Cubans. She created like a cult of Griselda. But see, that's what I like about this, because she wins you over. Because I was with her, man. I was like, damn, good for you taking these guys on, even though you're selling coke, but whatever, man. But then she does something so heinous. Did you get to that part?
See, I thought we were going to talk about He-Man, so I spent a lot of time watching that.
Hey, I never fought you for watching He-Man.
So I only got to the 4th episode. I only saw the 4th. And I got 2 left.
Okay, so you might have missed. No, you saw it. What she did, man, she did something. There's a turn where she becomes a straight villain. She does something so heinous, so bad.
Oh, that.
And you just kind of like, man, this bitch has got to go.
Yeah,
you got to go. And then the show just falls straight into, straight villainy with her. And I like that because it really had me rooting for her. And to that point, it makes it hard to see see her take that route. There's even some people like Jennifer Lopez who signed to play her at some point.
You see what I'm talking about? You see this bullshit?
I just started laughing and I realized, what did I just say? And Jennifer Lopez is set to pay her.
Is Salma Hayek, does she have a project in mind too?
Yeah. It's coming. Shit, everybody's going to end up playing her, man. Yeah, Selena Gomez just signed to play her.
Exactly.
Young Blanco. But like Jennifer Lopez, a lot of people, they don't, she's become such a famous figure now throughout time that even there are people like, oh my God, I admire her just for being, such a strong woman. I'm like, she's a murderer.
She's a psychopath.
She was. You'd say, man, you didn't even get to the parts where she was like losing her shit, because now the show did capture some of the real crazy parts of her life where she would, and only a small part here, but she would have these drug-fueled orgies where she'd force people to have sex.
Oh, wow, I missed that.
Yeah, and they have one part of here where she kind of did that. She started doing a lot of drugs and some heavy stuff, and she just became so paranoid. She was having people, just murdered just for thinking they might have done something. So they do go in and just make her. They don't hide it. They make her a person to be despised. You really want to see her get it, man. I think the real reason to see this is what I agree with what everybody's saying. Sofia Vergara. I think that she was amazing in this. I think it's a career topping performance for her. Regardless of what you think about the show, I think she was great in it, man. A lot of people are saying she should get an Emmy nomination for this. And
it's early.
It's early, but I really enjoy watching her. I was like, she's so good that, I never watched Modern Family. Is that what it is? Mm-hmm. But, I've seen her in commercials and I've seen her in things where she's joking around. I didn't even know that was her at first. The prosthetic nose didn't help, but just her acting alone. This is a completely different role for her. And I think she rises above the prosthetics. I think that she, her acting is brilliant that transforms her into this character.
Soy Griselda Blanco. Son unos Marielitos.
Guys in the back can't hear.
You ain't gonna say nothing.
Ven los tatuajes. Es tomándolo.
Someone don't even know what you're talking
about. Exactly.
What'd she say? Yeah, what she said.
She should get an Emmy. Great performance. Also, they show some things in here. I enjoyed the performance very much. I also like that they included some other stories in here, like a part of her story. Like her case got derailed by a phone sex incident. I won't say anything else, but that really happened. Show, what do you think about this? Of course, Netflix got money, so the show looks nice. That's both of you. It's a great looking show. I like, we always mention this where some biopics and period pieces, they can get lost in decade nostalgia, where they're trying too hard to remind you of, hey, remember this from this decade? I don't think they did that too much here. They had to do with music because they spent a lot of time in clubs.
In discos, yeah.
In discos, yeah. And I love that scene where you saw that part.
Yeah, that was in the first episode. That's what I'm talking about, where it's just like, this is that brutal violence that they talk about during this era.
Yeah, that scene was amazing, actually. It's a brutal scene, but it was an amazing scene, I thought. Just for entertainment value. Predictable entertainment value, but entertainment value. I thought it was all right. So I give this It was a high matinee. I enjoyed it.
It's yeah, I really liked the performances across the board. I liked everybody in it. And the production, the costumes, all that great. The music, I found myself shazamming a lot of the music they played in it. Yeah, I dug all that. And there's a lot of the writing that I'm not crazy about. I don't like the overall story because it's so template gangster story. You know, you like talk about Scarface, the rise and fall, the overdoing it, the paranoia, the betrayals, the flip back and forth. It becomes predictable after a while. You know, the times she's speechifying, and it just, you know, just going through it, it's kind of like. But outside of that, the thing I really don't like about these kind of stories, and it's here, is the okey doke of the whole trying to convince you to like root for this person. Oh, they're the underdog, and look at how they're being treated. So you want to root for them to overcome. And I was like, cocaine dealer.
Well, like I said, later on, they do make her a straight up villain.
Oh, yeah. But for those first 4 episodes, they're not trying to make her a villain. They're trying to make you sympathize with her. And it's like, yeah, I might like her better than these other people. But at the same time, you know, she does her friend dirty and pulls her into it, even with her saying like, I don't want to be in this shit. Yeah. But there's just so much she does. But, you know, but like you said, by casting somebody beautiful, another way to make you attracted to that lead and forgive the things they do. And they try to make you go like, well, see, if you were in her position, and I was like, no, you see, hey, y'all did it with Breaking Bad, but that also cured me of that. I see through too much of this. And so just watching it, I was like, I wish I could go there. I like so much of what I see, and at the same time, the underneath of it, I don't like. I don't like what you're trying to pull on me here. Also, it does, you know, it opens with the Pablo Escobar quote about, you know, the most dangerous person I'm scared of, this woman. So the first 4 episodes, she's actually not that scary. It's you know, that's a trade-off of trying to make her sympathetic. Probably in the last 2, once she gains her power, she is. But after that point, I'm like, you know, she's kind of getting over a lot, and a lot of it's her own fault. So I don't know. I came away with this with such a mixed feeling, especially reading about the actual Blanco, where it's just like, man, if you just told the story like it was, that would be compelling. This is more just a Hollywood movie. So I don't know. I'm more on the high rental scale.
I think that they made her somebody to root for on purpose, so that later on you would really see how she changed and became such a shitty person. Because at first, I think they make you think like, and everybody's dismissing her as a woman. And also that's kind of what pushes her over into like her ruthlessness. And I think like that's what caught me. Like, okay, you know, she really did have these intentions of just trying to like not be pushed around by these men, which she was also raped and abused by men too. Yeah. But then later she gets caught up in that world, and that's what changes her. And those last few episodes, oh no, they don't try to hide that she's a monster. Well, that's good. They don't. This is not trying to sugarcoat anything. Okay. No, I agree with you on the predictability of it. And I agree with you, like this a template, like I said. But they like, you know, if you saw the last episodes, it'd be like, yeah, they're not trying to like make you feel anything for her. But like if you're a good person, you don't feel anything for her but hate. Okay. Yeah, because that's the way I felt at the end. I was like, this chick, man.
Because I see what they do where they try to play against she was dismissed by men, and also the detective, who's a woman, is being dismissed by men. And see, they're 2 sides of the same coin. And I'm like, no. Yeah, I see the math here. It doesn't play out.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like I said, you know, I'm not trying to change your mind or anything like that.
No. I hear what you're saying.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, just like, and maybe I would be more with that if I didn't know how the real woman was. She was that monster since she was a child.
This whole era of like the cocaine cowboys, you know, and Miami and cocaine, that lasted a very long time. You think this is the beginning of Netflix's cocaine universe?
It could be. I mean, you know, I'm not. There's no reason why some of these characters cannot overlap from what I understand. Like that's, you know, they left her out of Narcos just because they wanted to center on Narcos. But I don't see why at some point you wouldn't see, as long as it's not phony, you know. Yeah. You know, as long as it ain't like, you know, at the end of this episode, you got, you know, one of the characters from Narcos, you ain't the only cocaine dealer.
But I just think that it could like lead into other stuff because like I said, like this lasted a long time. Like cocaine in Miami in the 80s, that's peanut butter and chocolate.
That's true. You thought of them together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody said the NCU, the Narcos Cinematic Universe. I don't see why not. Well, there you go.
Vice City.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because that's 80s, right?